That take two with me. And then they have DPS too, so
Easy 1v2, man. Come on now.
take a nap real quick. God damn, bro.
Stop playing. I'm about to have a manhunt by myself. Y'all better come on now. I don't know where y'all. I thought y'all was with me.
One's out the door. Guys, it's time to put on a booster. Another one. Two. One person on me. Trying to hit us with the They're trying everything, bro. They're trying everything. What's going on, YouTube viewer? You're beautiful and so am I. So we're going to talk about two of the best builds that I'm going to provide you right now. We got the SMG and the AR, but first let me go ahead and explain why we need these builds today, okay? Also, the examples I will provide you are from today because you guys know I like to give you fresh examples because this is current meta for me and for you, all right? So I'm going to show you current examples. Now I have mainly team examples, but I also have a little bit of solo examples. But you know, DZ is it's up and down. You're either going to face sweats or you're not going to face sweats. Conflict, I will be saving for my next build, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you guys love at meta builds, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to watch them be built live, click on my members. Also, check the description below. I will have a link to my members so you can watch me do it live as well. Now, also, if you guys are interested, before we dive into these builds, if you guys are Descent players and you love Descent and you just haven't beat the Nemesis, I have made a video previously, so make sure you guys check that out. The link is up here and at the end of the video. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the first variation. All right. If you want your build to be decent, but you to carry your build and not your build to carry you, this is the meta build for you. This is the meta build of fairness. This is the meta build of not being called out on BS. This is the meta build for if I beat you with this build, I'm just better than you with this build. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and dive in. You're probably wondering, right? You're probably wondering, why do I have a FAMAS? Why is there a FAMAS instead of a shield splinter? Didn't you just tell us recently that there's a shield splinter that's actually better than the FAMAS? Yes, there is a shield splinter that is better than the FAMAS, and that is great to use the shield splinter if you want to. Now here's why I'm saying to use the FAMAS, okay? Now the FAMAS has one additional mod slot. Look down here, okay? You see how we have four, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the muzzle slot, magazine slot, etc., right? But if you go to the shield splinter, you got 3. So you're missing a chance for 5% extra crit chance or 5% extra crit damage, or I think it's 6%. Not sure. But yeah, so that's why we're using the FAMAS. But hear me out. It's not just about the extra crit chance or crit damage for that slot. The shield splinter still is a better gun overall. It does more damage and it has 4% instead of 3% on optimist, right? But here's why I'm going to say use this weapon over it, okay? If you're going to use the meta build, you know you have to use the best weapons, which means if you're going to use the best SMG secondary with this build, you're going to have a best in slot assault rifle that matches up with its potential. And for me, you can either use the Kingbreaker with Optimus. Some people use the Kingbreaker with Flatline, case may be. But for me, it's the Optimus with FAMAS, okay? This is what I said to you before. The meta build without nobody talking. That's saying that you're using BS. The meta build of fairness, okay? So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So this is the best blend. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about why this is the best blend, all right? We're going to talk about this. 59% on the FAMAS. Here's why I'm saying the FAMAS. Do you see why we have 59% and 156 on our crit hit damage? Watch this. Look at our Ouroboros, 60%. If I used, let's go ahead. I'm just telling you guys so you guys understand why this is meta over the shield splinter for those people who are going to tell me in the comments, all right? Let's go ahead and break it down. Let's go ahead and put the shield splinter here. I've already done all the testing. If you don't believe me, you can test it out yourself. Look at the shield splinter, right? Look where we're at. 54%, 156. 60%, 166. Now, yes, you can leave it like this and say 54% is good enough. But hear me out, guys. I've really done the testing. I've really done the firing range. High crit chance is the way to go to land more damage, because in the end of the day, it's based off of RNG, correct? Hear me out. Like, let's stay together on this for a second, right? This is based off of RNG, right? So wouldn't it be better to have 60% chance and 156 versus 54% chance and 156? If we're basing this off of RNG for our shots, and the person that whoever has the best RNG and lands the most shots wins no matter how the skill level, here's what I mean. Two people can be at the same exact skill level, right? Me and you, right? We're at the same exact skill level, player skill. If we both have the same build, say we both put this build together, right? And you have the shield splinter, right? And I have the FAMAS, right? With 60%, we're looking at the stats again, 59% and 156, right? I'm going to land. I have a greater chance of my RNG working for me versus you for you with your 54%. And you probably gonna land a lot more white number shots than me with my orange or critical damage, critical hit shots, right? You know what I'm talking about? So the best way to outwin this luck versus people being at the same level of skill as you is to have 60% crit hit chance, right? Now, the FAMAS allows me to have only the FAMAS, I think, because like I said, we're still missing a slot, right, for the shield splinter. So we're maxed out at 54%, but the FAMAS will allow me to reach 60%, right, or 59% and critical hit damage with 60% flat on my Ouroboros, okay? This is 60% flat, all right? This is 60% flat. There's not above 60%. Watch. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. So, because I want you guys to understand why this build is meta, okay? Why it's so good. Why is it current, right? Go ahead, talk about it. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I have. Perfect. Exactly right here. I don't need crit chance. You see what I'm saying? You can just tell by the mods. I have crit damage on all these mods. That means I have no extra crit chance anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? So this is a great balance for an AR build. Now, Survivalist is for team-based fighting in the DZ. I have some clips on this. So I did use Survivalist the whole entire time. So you guys will be using Survivalist if you're a team in the DZ. And let me be honest with you guys, solo in the DZ is cool. I mean, you can definitely do it. I've done it before. I got solo manhunt before, but let's be honest, solo manhunts is great but I guarantee you, if you run against a 4 stack of the best players in the DZ solo, it will never happen for you. It will never happen. Okay. So I'm putting in the perspective of you probably would need a good team, or maybe just an extra friend or something, maybe two people, just so you're not alone in the DZ. Because if you ever come across a team, a sweaty team, you're by yourself, is highly unlikely. Now, it is a great chance that you can beat them with those builds, that what I said before, builds that are not fair, builds that carry you instead of you carrying the build. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and break this build down so we can move on to the next variation. We got the FAMAS, we got the Ouroboros, and yes, you guys know TDI card. Why should you run the TI card? I'm running it for Sledgehammer. That's the only reason why I have it. On these other pistols, you can't swap the talent for the orbit, otherwise I would have did the orbit. You can't swap the talent for the survivalist D50, otherwise I would have did it. Sure, you can do the regular D50, but why would you do that when you can have +1 skill tier on top of your Sledgehammer? Stay focused with me, right? Stay on track. We're here. I'm showing you guys exactly why this is meta. Now, you have two options. You can either run Catharsis or the Coyotes mask. I highly recommend, if you are in a team, you should run Coyotes. Now, if somebody else in your team has Coyotes, it does not stack. So please just use one Coyotes in the team. Now, if it does stack, please let me know in the comments below, but we have tested it and I believe it does not stack. All right. So I would say the best thing to use is Catharsis. Hear me out, because you think, you know, you get the 25% extra critical hit damage. You can get the critical hit damage plus the 10% critical hit chance, depending on the range. But like I said, as long as one person has it in your team, you're okay. But the Catharsis, right? Taking damage build stacks up to 30%. So you get 30% weapon damage as you're taking damage. So you're getting damage. And not only that, you guys know for a fact in the PvP, a lot of people run status effects. Catharsis clears out status effects, removes all stacks and status effects, and then drops a healing cloud that restores 5% of your max armor. Like, it's there, it's there for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got the helm done. The Matador. Everybody should get the Matador. If you don't have the Matador, there's 3 different ways you can get the Matador. You can get it through the DZ caches. You can get it through when the targeted loot is Walker and Harris in the DZ. You can get it from caches, all right? Whether that's conflict, DZ, or name caches, right? So those are 3 different ways you can get this, all right? Then if you're going with the AR, you gotta go with the Fenris chest piece. That's 10% assault rifle damage, all right? Obviously, you guys should know by now. If you don't know, then maybe you should subscribe to my channel. But you guys should have critical hit chance and critical hit damage on everything that you are using, except for the exotics where you can't change the attributes. That's just what it is, all right? So we're going with that. Now, why are we running Seska instead of Contractor's Gloves, which gives you 8% damage to armor? Yeah, 8% damage to armor. Yeah. Why are we using 10% crit chance? Because we need that crit chance. We just talked about it before, okay? With the Pucaros holster, this is the best in slot holster for just fairness or fair builds. Or a lot of builds use the Pucaros because it's just that good. You get the 15% weapon damage on top of the critical hit damage plus the skill haste, all right? And then you want to finish it off with the Groupo. Here's why we're going with the Groupo over the Fox's Prayer. We already did the testing. I'm trying to tell you. Wow, you NPC, don't do that to me. I can't believe that NPC did that to me while I'm in mid-explanation. Critical hit chance at 60% with the high chance of it landing critical shots. Critical damage does a lot more damage. Now, you can do the multiplicative damage of the Fox's Prayer, but let's be honest here. I would rather go with 156 and 60% damage than 8% damage to target I've covered. Here's why, okay? Here's why we're going with this. We done the testing. If I crit a lot, remember what I'm telling you. If I crit a lot, let's look at it. Let's look at it because it's hard to explain it when I can just show you. Let's put it on, right? Let's look at our stats now. Do you see our stats? 53, 141, and then 60%, 151. Do you see this, right? So let's go ahead, just because y'all think I'm tripping on why I think this is meta, all right? Okay, now we're at the firing range. You're using 5 meters, and we're going to test the Groupo first, okay? So let's go ahead and look at these numbers. Only using the body because a lot more people are more likely to go for body shots than headshots, all right? So let's go ahead and focus on the body, all right? Here we go. We're going to show 3 different numbers. Now, remember what I told you. I've hit as high as 3.8, but will I hit 3.8 mil again, DPS with this? Who knows? Because you know why? What we talked about. RNG, your bullets fluctuate. It's based off of luck sometimes. When you guys are sequally on the same player skill, it is based on luck. Now let's go ahead and dive in. Let's do 3 numbers and see what we get. All right, we got 3.4. We got as high as 3.4. Got high at 3.3. And we got as high as 3.7. So we did hit 3.7 with the Groupo, right? That's our highest. Now let's see, but not about it being which one hits harder, which one gives you more consistent bullets, more consistent high damage. All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, now we're going to do the Fox's Prayer. Here we go. All right, we got 3.5. All right, let's reset just like we did with the other one. 3.5. 3.3. We'll do one more just for giggles. 3.4. We'll do one more just for giggles, just to make sure we're not tripping. Because this is the Fox's Prayer everybody's talking about, right? Boom. Now, the Fox Prayer does more damage. You guys hear me out. You guys seen that it doesn't do damage, right? But we know Fox's Prayer does more damage due to the multiplicative damage of the 8%. Target 8% damage to target out of cover, right? But it wasn't as consistent on the higher end of the numbers like the Groupo. Now you guys see exactly what I see and what I am trying to explain to you. All right, so that's what our build is. That is our main build. This is our main AR build. And just for the giggles, our second build variation is the SMG. All right, let's go ahead and go out of here. And let's talk about the second variation. All right, really fast. It's pretty self-explanatory. All we did was change the Fenris chest piece to the Sokolov chest piece, which gives you 10% SMG damage instead of 10% AR damage. We're still using Unbreakable. Also, we still got everything else the same. All right, we already talked about everything else in a full depth, so I don't have to explain it again. All right, also we are still using Survivalists with this build as well because it's a team. Now this one I'm going to change for solo players. Okay, we're still using the same variation, overall variation, except for now this is SMG, so we're going to go with the Sokolov, and we still got 60% with 166, and we still got 59 with 156. So technically it's the same exact build, but we're technically putting all the damage now on the Ouroboros first with the 10% extra damage because of Sokolov, right? So we're gotten our SMG is now our primary, okay? But instead we're going to switch up the build for solo play, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what it's like to be a solo player with this build. You want to go from Survivalist and you want to go ahead and put on Firewall. All right, oops, yeah, you want to go ahead and put on Firewall. All right, so once you put on Firewall, here's what Firewall does for you. It gives you 200% med kits, okay? So when you're solo and you need to pop a kit, boom, you know what I'm saying, you get that 200% Firewall kit. Let's go ahead and talk about it so you guys can see what I'm talking about, right? So let's go ahead and go to the Firewall. As you can see, your armor kit recovers 200% armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. But once you pop that kit, you get 200% health. So when you pop a kit, you'll face tank and you'll fire off. Um, you'll face tank them, you'll shoot at them, but as you're shooting at them, you're getting health back as you're shooting at them versus them not getting any health because they didn't pop any kits, right? So this is what you want to run for a solo build. I highly recommend running a stagger due to the fact that so you can stagger and make them stumble a little bit. So they can't shoot for like a split second. You make them stumble for a little bit and you shoot them while they're stumbling. A solo player, I highly recommend using a defender drone or a booster due to the fact that people run status effects. So the Ouroboros is a must use because when the agent has status effects applied to them, 50% of that ammo in their next magazine will apply that same status effect to the target back, right? So this is such a beautiful build to explain to you guys and tell you guys, okay? So this is exactly why I have yet to change this build. Well, I did change it from my older variations to this update, current updated meta, right? So yeah, this is my main build. This is what I run. This is what I use in the DZ. And I will show you guys some meta builds for conflict soon. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Also, we hit 3,000 subs. I'm so happy. I can't stop saying it enough. I can't wait to hit the 4K as well. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in my comments below. Also, you can DM me on Twitter, and also you can talk to me live in my member links. Click that link down below. Also, like I said before, if you guys are Descent players, make sure you stay all the way to the end of the video. Click the video at the end that talks about the Nemesis being defeated in under 1 minute. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.